Hey there, and welcome to another episode of your favorite libertarian. Today we are continuing the basement gym series. Today's episode is going to be all about drywall. We're going to show you what the space looks like now that the drywall is in. I should note that the drywall is not something that we did. This is something we paid to have done. And speaking of paying for things to be done, everything we've done ourselves, my dad, my wife, my sons, we've done ourselves except for the electrical work that you saw in the previous video and the drywall. In breaking down the costs, I'm going to be doing that at the end of this series. Once we get to where the space is completely finished, I'll do a video showing you the space, talking about the different costs for each phase of the project. But that math is going to be kind of weird because we are finishing the entire basement, not just the part that you're seeing in this series for the basement gym. That room is its own room, but it's part of an overall bigger project with bigger costs. So we're going to be doing percentage-wise of things that apply to the whole basement, and there's some things that apply to other areas of the basement, like a mantle, fireplace, shiplap, all that stuff. You guys don't care about that because that's not in this room, so we're going to be taking those costs out. So just rest assured that at the end of this series, you'll get a full breakdown of costs for the entire construction of this exact space for the basement gym, and then we'll also be doing a big reveal once all the workout equipment is installed, giving you a full breakdown of those costs and give you a total cost for everything, so you know if you're starting from a completely unfinished space and you want to build a basement gym that looks exactly like this, you can do it and you'll know what it costs. Or if you already have a finished space and you just want to put the gym part in there, you'll know what those costs are as well. Cool. Speaking of mounting costs for this project, if you could do me a solid and click on the links in the description or in the pinned comment below, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm guessing if you're watching a Building a Basement Gym series, you might be building a basement gym or some type of home gym. You'd probably want to click on the links below because those not only will get you to places where you can buy awesome stuff that you were probably already looking for anyway, at a discount, but it also helps support the channel at the same time and helps me to continue to make this content for you. Again, thank you so much in advance for checking out those links. Now let's get to the actual video that you came here to see. Well, as you can see, this area isn't going to work great for drywall. So what we ended up doing is cutting a few spots for this to go into the wall. Then we had to undo a bunch of brackets along the floor joists, move the whole copper tubing up against the wall without crimping it, and getting it high enough that the drywall could clear. Wait a minute, something's different. Let's think back to what happened last time. I think, yep, we sprayed the ceilings black. So there was that. There was framing here. I know what it is. It's the drywall. Yep, there's drywall on the walls now. So let's talk about that and some of the other things we still need to do to finish this basement. Here is the doorway. There's no door yet, but there's a doorway to the gym. So here we have the framing that we did for the barn doors. That's all drywalled. That's cool. This entire room drywalled. They were even able to keep that outlet there that was existing. We should be able to put a plate on there and still use it, so that's good. It's really tight though. It's a tight fit. They drywalled all around the windows. Left this exposed because we're going to do some trim work here. So we'll have a nice windowsill here made of wood. And then we'll also have a sill over here, also made of wood. It's going to be a little bit longer though, a little bit wider. So that'll be cool. Then of course we'll have barn doors here and here, but this is drywalled inside of here and ends right about there. This is all going to get covered with barn doors, but I do like having this area kind of finished. It'll be as finished as the rest of the room. So if we ever decide we want to open this up and use it for something other than storage, we have the options, right? It's good to have options. Let's talk about some of the things that we still need to do in this room before it is ready for workout equipment and all sorts of cool filming, besides this cool filming you're seeing now, of course. That is going to be wiping all these walls off with some type of dusting mop type thing for getting all the drywall dust off the walls, priming all of this. We also need to have the electricians come back so they can hook up all of the hook up all the outlets, the switches, and the overhead lights. Once that's done, we'll start painting, and we'll do the primer, obviously, for all the rooms. We'll do the paint, and in here the paint is going to be kind of like an OD green, so it'll have OD green walls, which will be super cool, black ceilings, which will be super cool, and then the flooring is going to be black horse stall mats, so it'll be black, OD green. And then the squat rack over here is going to be black. The bench is going to be black and green, so that'll be super cool, all matching. And then I'll probably paint some of the accents of the squat rack that same green, so that it'll all match, it'll all look super cool, and it'll kind of be on point, it'll be themed, there'll be a vibe, right? My wife's Peloton will be somewhere over here, either plugged in there or plugged in there. Workbench will be over there. Overhead light will be plugged in up here, controlled by that switch. It's going to be dope. Then, of course, after we're done with all the painting, probably do a trim along the floor here. Once we have the horse stall mats down so we can make sure it's the right height. Barn doors will go up. That'll be a project in and of itself, but we should probably have all the flooring down so that we can see how much clearance we want to have for the barn doors and have it still slide, right? We don't want it to get stuck on the rubber, because the rubber floor mats are going to go probably to this corner here on both sides, and same thing over there. It's not going to go into either one of these rooms, one, because that's all the furnace and water heater stuff. We don't want to cut out all sorts of weird shapes to fit all that in there, and there's really no point to doing that. And in here we want as much clearance as we can for all of the things that we're storing in here, so I don't want to limit that by having the floor go up a little bit higher by 3/4 of an inch, right? So that's going to be all we need to do for that, in addition to adding a door here. Once we have the door here, it's all trimmed in, and we can lock this up. Then we can start over in this area building out our squat rack, which is going to be epic, and putting the Peloton down here, moving the workbench over to this area so that we can have all sorts of awesome spots to film. We'll be able to do all sorts of filming of different workouts if you guys want to see that. We'll also be testing out all of the different pieces of workout equipment that I have and doing reviews on that. We'll be doing tabletop stuff on the workbench, which will be great because it's got a nice bright backdrop to things that are normally black that I'm reviewing, or some type of dark color. So it'll be nice to have that contrast. The lighting will be awesome in here, so I shouldn't need to have a bunch of extra lights that I move around or have to film at a certain time of day, because the lighting is going to be super adjustable and awesome. So I'm super stoked about that, and super stoked to have a space that is able to be worked out in. Currently I have a bunch of the workout stuff that I've opened ahead of time and have been working out in the bedroom, and then moving stuff around when I'm not working out back to the office. So it'll be awesome to have this space dedicated to getting fit and working on projects. What do you guys think? Night and day difference between just the framing and drywall? I think so. I'm excited for all the possibilities that this opens up, like all the painting that's going to happen, all the finishing work, the electrical stuff can get put back together, and we can actually see what this space is going to look like with the lighting that we've selected. So that's going to be an exciting one. If you want to see any of those videos in the future or want to go back and see the previous videos in this series, click up here or at the end of this video where the little box is, and that'll take you to the playlist. If you're already on the playlist, you can just click next and you can go off to the other video. If you'd like to help support the channel, again, best way to do that besides all the algorithm stuff is clicking on the links in the description or in the pinned comment below. That takes you to a bunch of awesome places where you can buy a bunch of awesome stuff and help support the channel at the same time. Thanks in advance for doing that if you can. You guys are awesome. And also, don't forget, I take prayer requests. So if you have anything that you need prayer for, I'd be happy to pray for you. Put it in the comment section below, along with any questions or comments or dad jokes. That's probably my favorite thing about having a YouTube channel is reading the comment section. So don't hesitate to put comments in there and I'll read them. And as always, thanks for watching, stay free, and God bless.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.